So today I'm going to be talking about real estate dimension. And when you talk about real estate dimension, that's the topic for today. Real estate dimension. And so when you are talking about real estate dimension, it has different contexts. So we are going to be analyzing them, five of them. The first one is physical dimension. Okay, physical dimension. When you talk about physical dimension, you talk about the land size. I mean the locations and all of that. In Nigeria, the common land major plots are 450 square meter, 600 square meter, 1,000 square meter, as the case may be. I mean, some parts of Nigeria like Lagos, they have 250 square meter, even 150, 170 thereabouts. And as a matter of fact, as a real estate person, you need to understand that when you mention a hectare, you are 450 square meter in 1 hectare, you are talking about, that's about 22 plots and 100 square meter remaining as a leftover. We are talking about, let's say, 350 square meter in 1 hectare. You are talking about 28 plots and then 200 square meter left over. We need to be used to this land size. Of course, 250 square meter is talking about 40 plots in 1 hectare. So when you have a client, for instance, you should know, because clients rely on you most times to be able to make decisions. Some are abroad, they may not be able to come to the land. You yourself, you need this knowledge and you need to know this thing so that you cannot cheat. You know, there is what they call honest cheating. That is within you, you don't know, and somebody cheats you on behalf of another person. So as a real estate person, you need to be used to some of these things. So like for instance, 1 hectare is equals to, let's say, 450 square meter. You have about 22 plots and then 100 square meter left over. So you need to be used to these figures like I have explained. So that's all about dimension. We talk about locations and then maybe something like hills or valleys and all of that. You need to be used to some of these things. So that's all about physical dimension. The second one is legal dimension. Legal dimension. Now in Nigeria, legal dimension, when it comes to land or real estate in general, you are talking about the land title, legal title, which is strictly obtained from the government. And common, we have 3 to 4 common ones, which is the C of O, certificate of occupancy. We have the R of O, C of O, then we have R of O, and then we have governor's consent. Governor's consent. And then the last one is Land Use Acts. Land Use Act. So C of O is the perfection of title, certificate of occupancy. Then the R of O is the right of occupancy, which has to be a short period of time you are to use the land before you perfect the title. And the governor's consent is the transfer of assets. A governor has to consent to it. And then the Land Use Act. In 1978, which is a law that governs all land ownership and administration in Nigeria, which of course means all lands in the state are entrusted to the governor on behalf of the people
to allocate to individuals and board corporate bodies, which is a certificate of occupancy. Very important.
Third one about the third one is what we call economic dimension. And this has to do with economic dimension has to do with one, potential rental income. Two, capital appreciation. And then the three here is what you call return on investment, ROI. And then the fourth one is what you call cost of development versus market value. That is COD versus MV. So under this economic dimension, these are the four major key things when, in fact, investors should look out to when you talk about real estate dimensions. So that's all about the third one, which is economic dimension. So the fourth one is what we call functional dimension. And functional dimension has to do with residential. Of course, it is how particular properties are being used. So under residential, you have apartments, and then maybe real estate in general, or let me say flats, for instance. Then you have commercial. Then under commercial, you have shops, and then business environments in general. Then you have mixed use. This tells you that it's a combination of, let's say, shops or malls and apartments. And then you have industrial or agricultural. Industrial, which has to do with farmlands, and then industries. Of course, like I said, functional dimension is how particular property or land is being used. So you have four major areas of how land is being used, which I highlighted it here. So that's all about functional dimension. Then we'll move to the last one. Okay. Now the fifth one is what you call environmental /social. So how do you call it? Social dimension. Now under this you have, it's how it relates to the community or amenities around. Then you have something like, let me say, schools, proximity to schools, something like churches, markets, and so on and so forth. So these are the major 5 dimensions when it comes to real estate development, or real estate, or the use of land in general. Okay, so our next class I'm going to be talking about is majorly for investors, but it's as well good for you to understand in this content. I'm going to be talking about advantage of market, especially somewhere like Abuja, the advantage of real estate market and how you can make huge return on your investment. Thank you. See you in our next channel. If you have not subscribed or follow, click and follow for more touch like this. Thank you.